What's up, everybody? This is Jeremy from Octane TV. This is going to be the new part of our Triple Mustang Saga series. So if you have not watched part 1 or part 2, it's going to be a little confusing when we go back and talk about past vehicles or past Mustangs, things like that. This is going to be part 4, where we have actually went to buy a Orange Fury MT82 Gen 3 car. We kind of got into a little bit of heat after we figured out some things about the car that we didn't quite go into depth when we went to go test drive the car. So the last episode, on episode 3, we kind of figured out that there was a few things wrong. So this video is going to go into great detail of exactly what happened, and I hope you guys really enjoy this because it's about to get where the drama, and you're going to need the popcorn to get ready. There, and when I went to click it into gear, it kept like locking me out or grinding really bad, and I'm like, maybe it's just the way the car is. I'm like, no big deal, you know, I don't know much about these cars, but maybe it's just the way it is. And it drove fine, other than just every time I would try to put it in second, third, or fourth, it would always like grind a little bit, hesitate a little bit. It just didn't feel smooth. Like, I'm used to driving cars that have smooth transmissions, like M3s and Hondas. Those cars just shift like butter. So this car was a little bit weird on shifting, and I didn't know why. The other main concern I had was this thing was so freaking loud. I mean, it was ungodly loud. So I took it back to my shop and I started looking over the car, taking pictures, sending them to my buddies. And my buddies were like, look and see if the car has an exhaust in it. Come to find out, it had a Corsa exhaust, and it had a Roush, I think a Roush, or I can't remember the brand, full catback. And I'm like, what the heck? And then I look underneath and the car had headers. It had full Corsa headers on it. I'm like, wow. I mean, that's a lot of money. That was great for me. I'm like, wow, I got a car that's fully modded with all this money on it. But little did I know what was going to end up happening. So I drove the car from the north side to the south side to my house. I took some pictures of it, drove it around a little bit, you know, kind of cruised it for a minute, but didn't do much with the car. So the following day, the one thing I did not like about the car was the stance. I liked the wheels, I loved everything about it. I did not like that it set by like a 4x4. So I called up my buddy James at Halo Performance and I said, hey, can you put these springs on? I found some iBox springs, local, found them, bought them, paid for them, and said, can you just put these springs on for me? He did, and he's not a Mustang guy, he's an LSX guy. So it kind of got him a little bit, but he got them put on the car. I'll show you guys some before and after videos of what it looked like before we put the springs on and after, but he did a great job, and he's always done a great job for me on every single car that I've owned. So thank you, James. Shout out to you, buddy.
Well, this is before 4x4 status, so hopefully we'll get to see it lowered after with James.
Yeah, if you see anything weird, just definitely let me know. Just got it back. So much better. My God, it doesn't look like a monster truck anymore.
Really, other than just driving it home and driving it there, I didn't get a whole lot of seat time in the car because it just, driving in traffic here, you can't do much, you can't get on it. I mean, there's just so much heavy construction traffic in Indianapolis. So I didn't really get much to do with it. So I took it out one night because I don't drive a lot of my, you know, my fast cars or cars that I buy. I drive a daily driver, and I'll drive these cars once in a while. So I took this car out, I think it was like a Friday or Saturday night, and there was a woman in a Mach 1 with her son, and she got on it next to me. It's brand new. I mean, it literally, she just drove it off the lot that day. And she got on it next to me, and I think her car was an MT82 car as well, but it's not an MT82, it's a Tremec, but 6-speed car, manual, just like mine. So she got on it, and I mean, I could drive around her pretty well, but it was kept locking me consistently. Like every time I click it into third, it would try to lock me and lock me and lock me, and then finally let me go. And then when I tried to get it into fourth, it would do the same thing. It was just not smooth. It was just hesitant. It would stutter. It would lock me out. And I'm like, what in the world is going on with this thing? But the car felt so fast and so loud that she pulled over next to me. I was like, man, that thing's amazing. I was like, thank you so much. I just bought it as well. And, you know, I'm really happy with the performance of it and what it is, but I just don't quite have the shifting down. Maybe it's something new. And I read the MT82 gearing is just super weird. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just the way the trans is. I don't know. I mean, I'm new to this. This is all new to me. So, and I've owned, I'm not going to joke with you, I probably owned 60 to 80 cars. They're all manual transmissions. My first car from 15 to 20 years old, which I owned probably 4 or 5 back then, they were all manual transmission cars. I've only owned one automatic from when I was 15 to 20 years old. All the rest were manual. So I've driven a manual pretty much my whole life. And when I got this car, that's why I wanted a manual, because I thought that manual was going to be significantly faster than an automatic, because back in the day, people always drove manuals. They didn't want to drive automatics. Well, I was wrong. So I drove maybe a couple hours after that, and the car seemed to be okay. I didn't drive very many miles on this car. I mean, I maybe put 100 miles on this car, if that. And I took it out another night, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna enjoy the car, go out and cruise it. And my buddy had a, I can't remember what car, Terminator, 0304 Terminator, and he tried to do one pole next to me, literally one pole next to me.